Welcome into another episode, everybody. It's the Putback. It's the flagship basketball show here at Stadium Rant. Nolan Brooks, Jack McKinnon, Dovensky here with you for another episode. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got Final Four predictions to go over as the NCAA season is coming to a close here rather quickly. And the NBA season is getting to the fun part, to the playoffs. So we will look over some of the standings here as we dwindle down to the final couple weeks before the playoffs start. But lots of basketball to go over here tonight. But before all that, make sure you go check out everything we got going on here at Stadium Rant. There's written content dropping daily. We have tons of shows that are going on. And actually, a little plug here. Dirty Leather will be premiering this Sunday night at 6 p.m. So make sure you go check them out. That is our MLB show. Check them out. And then we've got tons of other content here on the video and audio side. So check all that out as well. StadiumRant.com for all of that info. And then check out these two gentlemen on their respected social medias. They are posting pretty much daily whenever they can. So check that out as well. All right. Plugging away. That part is done. That's always the lots of talking part, I guess. Let's get into the Final Four predictions. So, just to refresh, it's all one seeds. It is the four best teams in this bracket from the get-go. They're all playing in the Final Four. So, Auburn will be taking on Florida in that matchup. So, an all-SEC matchup there. And then Duke taking on Houston. So, a nice little mix-up two teams that you do not see. Hopefully Dovensky gets back in here. But two teams that don't see each other really all year. Unless they are playing in an early season tournament, they will not see each other until the big dance like this. So Duke and Houston, that is a big time matchup as well. So Jack, I will kick it to you. Out of these two matchups, we'll start with this. Which one are you looking forward to more? The SEC matchup between Auburn and Florida or the Duke and Houston superpower matchup?
I have to say Duke Houston. You know, you got the number one prospects for the 25 NBA drafts. And Houston as a team they're actually my pick to win the tourney. But LJ Cryer, I love watching him play. And yeah, that's going to be an absolute dogfight. I wish that was the grand final, honestly, but obviously it's just not how the seeding works. But yeah, I'm super excited to watch that game today, right, or tomorrow?
I think tomorrow, if I remember correctly.
I think it's today in New Zealand, but probably tomorrow.
Yeah, for you, yeah. For you, it would be tonight, yeah, I guess here, like soon or whatever. What time is it for you right now?
12:49 p.m.
Yeah.
No, I think it is technically tomorrow. But
okay.
Really, yeah.
So either way, it will be this weekend. So yeah, I need to kind of look at that. So yeah, both games will be tomorrow. Florida Auburn will kick it off in the 5 o'clock at least window for me, 5 p.m. Central Time, and then Houston and Duke at 7:50. It looks like. I'm gonna agree with you as far as like which matchup I'm looking forward to the most. Auburn and Florida. I watched a lot of both of those teams. You know, keeping up with the SEC. Obviously, Florida is riding hot right now. They're playing good, but Auburn is the number one overall seed. So. There's a lot to play for. Auburn didn't even win their conference tournament, so this will be a big time matchup between them. But yeah, that Duke Houston one. That's that's two. Not to say that Auburn, Florida isn't two heavyweights clashing, but Duke and Houston is a huge, huge matchup. Just because Houston has a lot of veteran guys, older upperclassmen that are still trying to win that first title, and then Duke is just loaded with young talent that is primed for an NBA run already. And so getting to see kind of that younger versus older team clash in the Final Four is going to be fun for sure. Well, out of these two matchups, again, I'll kick back to you. Who do you have winning out of Florida and Auburn? We'll start there.
I think the Gators win pretty handedly, to be honest. Like you said, they've been riding high, and I just from the little bit that I've watched, obviously Auburn's a good team, but Florida's just got a lot of obvious chemistry that like I can just see. So yeah, I'm would be very surprised if Florida don't win. Yeah, so definitely Florida. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm actually this is tough for me. Just because I think Bruce Pearl and Auburn have gotten so close before in previous tournaments. They've been kind of building up. And speaking of Bruce Pearl, Auburn's head coach, he won Coach of the Year. He actually won in a tie. Rick Pitino from St. John's, and then him tied for Coach of the Year in men's college basketball. So huge honor for him. But this is just so tough. So tough for me. So the Gators won the conference tournament. Obviously, that was one of the reasons they got the 1 seed. Man, I'm going to go Auburn on this one, just because Auburn has a bit more experience, I would say. Johnny Broome, All-American, probably going to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft. I just don't think they want to go down again unless it's them holding the title. So I'm going to go Auburn. I know that's vanilla because they're the number 1 overall seed, but I just like their team a little bit more. I like their pace. Florida does like to go up and down, but they do slow it down a little bit, and Auburn just clicks there on the fast break all the time. So I'm going to go with the Tigers in that one. All right. To the big matchup that you and I are looking forward to most, Duke and Houston. Who do you got? I mean, you already said, I think you said it, right? You said Houston was who you had winning the tournament anyway?
Yeah. So yeah, obviously I'm going with Houston. Like I said, RJ Cryer, he's been one of my favorite players to watch this whole tournament. And I do love this Duke team with obviously Cooper and Constantinople. I forget what the center's name is, but he looks so good as just a I guess traditional center, but like he looks to be a pretty solid NBA player a couple of years down the line. But yeah, ultimately I am going Houston.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this is so tough to pick. This is what makes picking the 1 seeds so difficult, is because like, all right, where do you go? Like you can argue for just about anybody. And it's Kaman Malawak is the big man, one of those freshmen that came in this class. Man, like looking at the tail of the tape, like on the CBS Sports app, Duke scores more per game. Houston allows less points per game. Duke shoots a better field goal percentage, free throw percentage, more rebounds, more assists. But Houston gets more steals, blocks, and forces 9 turnovers a game. I mean, Duke forces, or they commit 9 turnovers a game, I think is what that is. Yeah. So, I mean, defense obviously waning towards the side of Houston, and then the offense waning towards the side of Duke on this one. I'm going to go with Duke in this one. I've just seen enough from them where I'm like, wow, you look better than Auburn, and Auburn's the number one overall team in this tournament. I mean, Alabama, we talked about this on last week's episode. Alabama scored 113 points 2 nights prior. They go up against Duke, and Duke 20 balls them and holds them to 70 or something less points than they had scored 2 nights prior. So, I mean, that's not by accident. That is good coaching, good game planning, good execution by a bunch of young guys. Again, Knipple, Flag, Malawak, Tyrese Proctor is obviously one of the older ones, but they all mesh together. But that's what makes Houston so dangerous too, is they mesh very well. LJ Cryer looking to be the first player to win a national title on 2 different teams. Of course, he won in 2021 with Baylor. So this is a heavyweight fight, but I'm going to go Duke. I think they've got the momentum, and they've got the right pieces to be able to kind of combat what Houston throws out on defense. They're just, it's going to be a battle inside. The big men are going to be battling for rebounds. This is where Cooper Flag has a chance to I mean, he's already top of the draft board. I mean, rip the draft board up and create your own draft board for yourself type stuff. Like if he can have a big time game here and put Duke into the title game, he's going to prove to everybody why he is worth every bit of the hype. So Duke for me, Houston for you. You went Florida, I went Auburn. I'm going against the grain here. So we will lock that in. I hope Dovensky can get back in here. I'd love to hear his picks if we can get him back in here and talk about that. But we'll just keep moving right along until we can maybe get him back in here. So Final Four predictions are out of the way. Now it's time for the fun part for the NBA playoff preview. Here is kind of where we're at. And we talked about last week, we were going to look at the standings and where they currently sit. Lots of teams have locked up at least a playoff berth. The Thunder obviously are way ahead. They've locked up the Western Conference, their division, the whole 9 already. But let's start with the East, just because there's really less to talk about with the East than there is with the Western Conference, at least for right now. So here's the East as it stands heading into tonight. Cleveland, Boston have both won their division titles. So it looks like Cleveland has kind of created enough of a bubble between them and Boston. And real quick, now that we got him back in here, pause. Dovensky. We have given our Final Four predictions. So I took Florida. Jack took Auburn. Jack took Florida. I took Auburn. Flip that. And then Jack took Houston, and I took Duke. So you're kind of the tiebreaker here on these 2 games. So start with Florida and Auburn. Who do you have winning that matchup?
Yeah, you're still muted.
All good, man. All good. Still can't hear you.
Hey, just type.
You might restart one more time.
We'll be back.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah, let's go read comments real quick. Yeah, JC. I agree. Any other day of the week, I hate Duke. I do. I can't stand them. I will never ever like them, but I like them in this matchup just because I'm a fan of Cooper Flag. Like I've seen way too much from Cooper Flag to not just be impressed by this team. Because because there's a lot of hype around him. I mean, I would say Zion level hype coming into Duke, and he's backed it up in every way. Like Zion didn't even make the Final Four. I don't think. I think they got beat earlier. I think they got beaten like the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16. Yes, we can hear you now. Well, we could hear you. I could hear your voice for 2 seconds, and then it went away. Use your computer audio.
Yeah, that is.
Just use your computer audio. While you figure that out, use your computer audio. Yes, JC, future number 1 pick. I think that is guaranteed, 100%. Like it would have to be an absolutely epic meltdown for Cooper Flagg to not go number 1 in the draft, unless we have like a Michael Jordan situation where the Trailblazers they didn't even take Jordan. I can't remember, like
Sam Bowie.
Yes, they took Sam Bowie over Jordan. Like, unless that happens, it's Flagg all the way. Hey, Bernard, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. I really appreciate it. All right, so I guess we can kind of bounce back and forth here while he figures this out. So back to the Eastern Conference. Cleveland, Boston, New York, and Pacers have all clinched the main playoff berth. Cleveland and Boston with the division titles locked up in that one. So Milwaukee, Detroit, still looking to clinch. Looks like I would say they're far enough ahead of Orlando and Atlanta to maybe lock up there. But the main thing here, you go look at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, all those teams are done for. That makes it a whole lot easier to lock up the play-in field, I would say, just because Miami and Chicago, at minimum, play-in tournament, play-in berth, which is what that PB means. So then Orlando and Atlanta still, obviously, they're saying there's still a chance they could slide into the regular playoff with the time left. So, Jack, where's kind of the first part of this that draws the most attention to you in the Eastern Conference?
It's probably not what you'd first look at just in general, but that 4-5 matchup is going to be very interesting. Now, Damian Lillard is technically not out for the season, but blood clots is is real serious. So I don't know if he's going to be back in time for that first round. So if Milwaukee has to match up with Indy again, like they did last year, you hate to see that as a Bucks fan because obviously they spanked them last year. And I, for one, have been very high on the Bucks getting back to like an Eastern Conference Finals berth this season. But obviously with Dame being injured, hopefully Bobby Portis will be back soon. His suspension got to be over by now. But that is going to be scary. Obviously, Giannis is playing like a madman right now. He had 35, 20, and 17. First time that's ever happened. So
yeah, career high in assists that night, right? Wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, and had 20 assists. So yeah, that's a really interesting series to me. Just a rematch of last year. And then, like you said, after that, it's kind of solidified up top. Cleveland's going to get 1, Boston's going to get 2, New York's probably going to end up with 3. And then, that play-in is so irrelevant. I'm gonna be honest with you. like, they might as well just Cleveland and Boston might as well have a bye first rounds. Like Orlando, you're not beating Atlanta, you're not beating Cleveland or Boston. Miami, Chicago, y'all go on vacation early, please. Save us some time. Y'all are one game max in those series.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Dovensky, let's test it here, man. All right, we can hear you.
Please let it work this time.
We can hear you.
Finally.
All right.
Oh my God.
I'll backtrack one more time for you. All right. Florida Auburn. Who you got in the Final Four? Florida
I'm a
Auburn.
bit
Who you got?
biased, but I'm going Florida.
All right. So you break the tie there. So both of you are going for Florida. All right. And then Houston Duke break the tie for us.
I'm gonna go Duke. I'm gonna go Duke. I hope. Did Cooper Flag recover from his injury?
Oh yeah, he's been playing. Yeah, he's been balling.
Okay, good. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for Duke for sure. Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you break the tie. So me and you are taking Duke. Yeah,
the fire alarm stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. As you can hear, I'm not the only one anymore.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you break the tie. So me and you got Duke. Jack's going Houston, and then you two have Florida, and I'm going Auburn. All right. So that's out of the way. All right, Dovensky. So we're pushing into our playoff preview here, and we were just starting about the Eastern Conference. So here's a view of the standings as of right now. Like this is as of today, going into tonight's games. And I said the biggest piece for me that stands out, that entire bottom portion, they're all done. So that's going to make this play-in a lot more interesting as to who. I mean, Miami and Chicago at least have that bare minimum. So then Orlando and Atlanta, apparently they still think they could pass Detroit for the regular playoff spots there.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. Yeah.
But it's not batteries, bro. That's not the problem. It's just haunted.
Bro,
I'm telling you.
It's haunted.
It's not that deep.
Haunted batteries and a one-sided Eastern Conference, I would say.
Yeah.
So Dovensky, which part of this stands out the most to you? Jack said that 4-5 matchup is going to be interesting just because of Dame Lillard's blood clot situation. But what's standing out the most to you, just kind of first glance at these Eastern Conference standings?
Obviously, the Pacers are going to whoop Milwaukee. And then when they go to the second round, they're going to beat New York. And then in the conference finals, they're most likely going to lose to Cleveland. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that. They'll most likely lose to Cleveland in the conference finals, probably in like 5.
Okay.
Don't sleep on the Pacers.
I mean, if they beat Milwaukee, then they'll play Cleveland in the second round.
Boston, if Miami's the 7th seed, I'm going to pray that Miami gets one win again. Cleveland, I got Cleveland going all the way to the finals. Straight up, I got Cleveland as my championship. Well, not championship favorites, but they're going to get out the East, in my opinion. Unless Giannis somehow turns back into 2021 Giannis, maybe Milwaukee. Detroit, I don't see them doing much in the playoffs, although this is a big turnaround from last season. But Detroit, they'll probably get to like 6. They'll get to 6 games and then they'll lose. But this was an amazing season for Detroit. Orlando, unfortunately, because of Paolo's injuries and Franz Wagner's injuries, they could have definitely been like a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference if they stayed healthy. But I think they're getting it back together, and I think next season they're definitely going to be a threat. But man, my eyes are still on the Pacers. That's going to be my sleeper. That's the sleeper.
All right. Well, Duncan here, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of in this boat that it's Cleveland and Boston's conference to kind of lose. It would be disappointing if one of those two is not in the NBA Finals, I would say. So we will see. But, yeah, just one more look. I'll pull these back up here. I would say the spot I'm looking at the most, I'm curious what Detroit's going to do. Nobody thought they were going to be at this point. I mean, you think about where they were last year. They were breaking NBA records for losing streaks, or 2 years ago, whatever that was. They're breaking losing streak records, and it looked bad. Like they were in the middle of a rebuild that wasn't actually starting to rebuild, and now here they sit at 42-34 at the 6th seed.
That's crazy.
Now, Cade Cunningham has been out. He has been dealing with an injury, a nagging injury, so he's day-to-day. But that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. I'm curious what Detroit is going to do here in these last couple weeks to kind of set themselves up for a playoff run, because they are, without a doubt, they are making it. They're in that. So that's a surprise team that if they could put it together, they could make some noise. They could ruin some series, or they could take some teams to 6 or 7 games, maybe even cause an upset if they played the right way. So that's kind of where I'm sitting in the Eastern Conference. And Joshua with the
no, they won't.
Here,
No,
Boston will repeat.
No, they won't.
I can see
Cleveland's going to beat them, as they should have last season, but Cleveland will beat them.
As our fearless CEO and owner would say, hell yeah. He would 100% agree here. I mean, it's not out of the question. Now, Cleveland does look about what I would say this year's Cleveland team is what Boston looked like last year at this point. They just looked heads and shoulders above everybody else. But there was not a 2 seed like Boston last year. Like, if you flip the roles, there was not a 2 seed waiting in kind of in the shadows. And that 2 seed is the defending champs. Like, that wasn't the case last year. It was Boston and then a large gap and then everybody else. This year it's Boston, it's Cleveland, Boston, and it's whoever's going to come out of the East, I would say.
Indiana.
Yeah. I know you're high on the Pacers wagon there. You're smoking the Pacers pack.
Man's acting like his team's not in the race.
They're a sleeper. I would love to see a Detroit and Pacers series. I would love to see that.
It would be good.
Who's on Malice of the Palace down too?
Yeah.
I don't know what's in that Detroit air, but a Pacers and Pistons series would be amazing for sure. Cleveland, they're going to make it to the finals. I don't know why somebody is saying Boston is going to repeat as if OKC doesn't exist, or the new Lakers don't exist, or even Denver doesn't exist. Unfortunately, I mean, let me not get into the West until we get to the standings, because there's something I want to say about Denver. And I think you guys know what I'm going to say about Denver.
It better not be nothing crazy. It better not be what I'm thinking of.
All right. One last question for you guys. Who is your dark horse in this? And don't say Indiana, because that's a 4 seed, man. That's a 4 seed who's already got a playoff berth.
They were like, what did a 4th seed last year, and they made it to the conference finals? Yeah, they were the 4th seed last year.
All right, fine. We know Dovensky's answer here. Dovensky's going Pacers. Jack, who's your dark horse in the East?
I'll be honest, I don't even have one. There is no team nearly good enough to like. It'll be Cleveland or Boston, respectfully.
Okay. No,
unless Dame comes back, because we know how I do like Milwaukee when they have their full team. So if Dame and Bobby Portis are both healthy playing, maybe Milwaukee. But yeah.
Okay. No, and again, that's not crazy. That's how good Cleveland and Boston has been this year.
That's true. That's facts. Man, New York couldn't stay healthy.
You cannot.
New York doesn't have a backup center. They have Cat, and then coming off the bench, Mitchell Robinson is always injured. So let's say he were to come back. I keep forgetting if he's injured still or not, because I'm not paying too much attention to the Knicks, because who cares about the Knicks? But their depth is not good. I would just say that their depth is not good for a deep playoff run, because you already know the starters are going to play massive minutes, as Tom Thibodeau's players always do. And we saw how they were injuries. We saw how the injuries were last season. I will say this though, if the Knicks had depth last season, they definitely would have beat the Pacers for sure. They could have beat the Pacers, but the Pacers just had depth, and the Pacers also didn't really deal with injuries. But that don't mean this season the Pacers can't make it again. They'll make it. They'll get there. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't sleep on them.
Dude's a secret Pacers fan, bro.
Look.
Yeah. Are you sure you're a Miami Heat fan?
When the conference finals come and the Pacers are there, I will be on this camera and I'll say I told everybody this.
Are you sure you're a Miami Heat fan? Are you
I am.
Sure?
I am a Heat fan, but the Heat have been pissing me off this entire season. So
okay, but the Heat are about to be at least in the play-in. Like they're there. Like
they're there, but they're not there. I'm tired of it.
I want an honest answer.
We lost to the Hawks. We lost to the Hornets, man. That's when I lost faith. I'm not even gonna lie. It wasn't even after the Butler trade, but at this point, I'm just like, let's just suck this season. Let's get a good draft pick, and then next season, maybe, just maybe, or after next season, we finally sign a star, like we should have with Jimmy Butler. Unfortunately, Pat Riley didn't want to do that. So for now, I am going to leave the Miami Heat alone because they keep pissing me off and they will mess up my blood pressure. And I am going to praise the Pacers as I've been doing since the beginning of last season.
Jack, ask your question because you were about to fire one up. And
I was going to say, would you rather the Heat or the Pacers make the finals?
Oh, Miami for sure. Oh,
no.
Miami,
let's be so honest. Let's be so honest.
If Miami were to win, I will pull out all 3 of my Heat jerseys, and I will rep them on the camera. Those are the only jerseys. Miami Heat jerseys are the only jerseys that I have so far.
Yeah. I was gonna say too about the Knicks. They're gonna wipe the floor with Detroit. Because Detroit's never been this current Detroit team has not had playoff experience. But unfortunately, they're going to match up with Boston in round 2, and they are not a good matchup against Boston. So that's why they're not a dark horse. Yeah. They're a guaranteed second round exit. I'll put money on they lose in the second round to Boston.
Yeah, that's honestly going to be so tough for the Knicks, just because the harsh reality is somebody's got to try to beat Cleveland and Boston. So yeah, that'll. We can no longer hear you, Dovensky. We can no longer hear you. Your mic has died again. I don't know what it is, but your mic is dead. Your mic. Is all right. All right. Yeah, it is cut out again. We cannot hear. Yeah. Okay. Tough night for Dovensky. All right, Jack, let's go ahead and move into the Western Conference here. Here's a look. Again, Oklahoma City Thunder ahead by a lot. 14.5 game lead over Houston in second. And then here's why I wanted to talk about the West a little bit more. If you noticed, and one more time, I know I've put the East up a ton. 4 clinches at the top, 2 in the play-in, everybody else at the bottom eliminated. Okay? Then you go look at the West. Clinched at the top, clinched in second, no clinches after that. Not even play-in. Everything else is up in the air, free for grabs, all the way until New Orleans and Utah eliminated down at the bottom. So this is what makes the West so tough, because Phoenix is a game out from being in the play-in. They're 10 out from the regular playoffs, so they're not catching Memphis. But Minnesota's probably going to get gifted a playoff spot because Memphis is firing their coach right before the playoffs. But this is a big talking point. I mean, look at it. San Antonio is not even out of the running, and they don't have Wemby. So I mean, this is why the West is so interesting. There's only 2 teams that have a playoff spot locked up right now out of the entire field that is still running in this. So, same thing that I asked for the East. Jack, I mean, which teams are you kind of looking at? What is standing out to you the most outside of no one clinching besides the top 2 seeds so far?
Well, I think I'm gonna stick with what I said in the East. Pretty exciting 4-5 matchup potentially. We seen the game last night, one of the best games of the season easily. And I'm gonna need another LeBron Steph Curry playoff matchup. So that would be ideal if those two can stay 4-5 or even go to 3-6. And then obviously the big outlier is Houston, right? No one expected them to be this high up in the rankings. So let's say Minnesota stays 7 seed, they get the 7 seed. I probably take Minnesota in a 7-game series over Houston. I probably take the Clippers over Houston. I mean Dallas and Sacramento and Phoenix are going to be fighting for that 9-10 seed. I honestly couldn't care less if the Kings don't make the play-in at this point. I'm off Dovensky. My team has failed me. I have just hated the trade more and more as time's gone on. De'Aaron Fox, I miss you. But yeah, and then because I think the top 8 seeds as it is now, hopefully those are the teams that make the playoffs. I would hate to see the Kings, the Suns, or even the Mavericks make the playoffs off the teams they have currently. Dallas, obviously, if they were healthy, but no Kyrie, so that's I don't want to see them, to be honest.
It makes me want to vomit that the 34-43 Trailblazers are a game and a half out of a play-in spot.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting.
That's horrible. That's horrible. All right, Dovensky, we can hear you this time.
Thank God. I'm just hoping it doesn't cut out again.
You and me both. Dovensky. Maybe, JC. Maybe.
I'm hoping it doesn't.
All right, Dovensky, how about you? Where are you kind of looking in this Western Conference as far as like things that stand out to you, matchups, etc.?
Definitely OKC is my championship favorite, straight up. They've been my championship favorite since the beginning of the season. Houston has been a huge surprise to me. I wasn't expecting them to be this good, but dang, 50 wins good. I wasn't expecting that. I thought, honestly, actually, let me see, because I know I didn't have them out of the play-in. I actually had Houston. Dang, I did have them out of the play-in. Dang, I underestimated Houston for real. I had them as the 11th seed coming into this season. Dang, but San Antonio, that's sad. Because I thought they would be like right there for that last play-in spot. Lakers and Golden State, I pray for that, but I would like that to be a conference finals game instead. Because, I mean, think about it. You got the Lakers and the Warriors, LeBron, Curry in the conference finals. Game 7, 1 game before the finals. LeBron and Luka already beat Denver. LeBron's biggest op in the Western Conference. He beat him in the second round. Going into the finals, beating Curry, his rival, as we would like to say. Going into the finals, facing Cleveland, Game 7. Oh my goodness. LeBron winning in Cleveland in Game 7 of the finals. That's a storybook ending right there. I just hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't retire then. But Memphis, they're going to be probably 8th seed, probably, because I don't know why you would fire your coach before it's like 3 weeks before the playoffs. You fire your coach. That's unheard of, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure they did that because Ja wasn't happy with the playing style of Memphis, so that's why apparently they fired him. That sucks. Dallas, I hope they don't make the playoffs because they're just going to embarrass themselves. But if I were to pick a dark horse besides the Lakers, a dark horse for me, I would want to say Denver, but unfortunately, Russell Westbrook is gonna stop Denver from making it to the finals for sure.
Here we go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I drop a 60-point triple double, only two other players have done that in the history of the NBA. If I drop a 60-point triple double and you are the reason I lost, you blew a layup, we're gonna have problems. I can't say anything, but we will have problems. Because there's no way. He missed a free throw before that. He missed the layup. He fouled. I forgot who he fouled, but he fouled somebody on the three.
He fouled Alexander Walker at the very end.
Yeah,
so I mean, the layup and the free throw was one thing, because that would have iced the game. But then you foul one of their best free throw shooters at the 3-point line with the game on the line. Now, granted, I don't see many NBA refs calling a foul on a final shot, to be honest with you. It doesn't happen very often, but they called it. They called it, and yeah. But
if I had an all-time game and you ruined that because you fouled somebody on the 3-point line after you consecutively missed some game-deciding shots, we gonna have issues in the locker room. Like the issues that I'm talking about. Michael Jordan punching Steve Kerr is gonna look like it's gonna look like just a slap on the face. Because no, I'm not about to make NBA history, and then you ruin that with a loss. I don't want that on my resume. I would not. That's unacceptable. But I will say Westbrook has done mostly good for Denver. He's been their energy. He's been their enforcer. He does great things, even though he is coming off the bench. I think he's really like he's gotten comfortable with that role coming off the bench, and he's fine with that role. So if Denver can get it together, I could see them going back to the finals again. But OKC definitely is my pick. It's my favorite to make it to the finals and win it all. But the Lakers, if the Lakers could also do it, because this Luka trade, unfortunately, Luka didn't have the best night last night against Golden State. That's only one game. There's still some games left in the regular season. Then you got the playoffs. Luckily, the Lakers don't have to deal with the play-in, so they get some rest, which means Luka will have more energy for the playoffs. LeBron will have more energy for the playoffs. I'm just scared for that center position. That's really it. If it wasn't for that center position, I would say the Lakers could win it all. Could win it all for sure. But Jackson Hayes, I just can't trust Jackson Hayes against somebody like Hartenstein or Chet or Jokic, especially Jokic or Şengün. I just can't. I don't see Jackson Hayes stopping any of them. He can't.
Fair enough. Well, kind of looking at this again. Again, 3 through 10 are not locked up yet. I think that is got to be just the biggest talking point for the next like 2 weeks until teams start locking this up, because that just shows you how wide open some of these spots are going to be. Now, granted, Denver's 3.5 back of the 2 seed, so I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to catch there, but if you look at it, 3 through 6 alone, or 3 through 7, you could say, because of Minnesota, they're all within a game and a half or 2 games of each other, and that could flip on a dime. I mean, we said this way back at the beginning of the year, when me and Jack were giving our predictions for some of the conferences, and we were looking at the current standings, and that was right around when Golden State was just untouchable. It seemed like they were on a huge run, and no one was going to beat them. And 2 weeks later, we had a show 2 weeks later, and Golden State had dropped 3 or 4 standing spots, and everything looked different. The only consistent thing was that Oklahoma City was sitting up top. So like that is how quickly on a dime it can shift. And especially in these last couple weeks when no seeds locked up, I think some of these teams want to avoid certain matchups going into the playoffs. And Dovensky, I hate that your heart is going to get broken here just because if the standings stay where they're at right now, LA and Golden State are playing right out the gate, and you're not going to get a LeBron
it's
Curry conference finals like that. That mathematically cannot happen.
Yeah, it's that's what it's looking like.
But you want to get some eyeballs on a first round matchup? Put LeBron and Curry against each other, Luka and company. I mean, that's a good first round matchup. I mean,
honestly, look, if I was Adam Silver, I know David Stern would have done this, but if I was Adam Silver, I would definitely start rigging some regular season games to get the Warriors a little lower, to get the Lakers a little higher, to try and save that game. Because I don't want them to be like this off the bat. Because if you got two popular teams in the first round, that's the first round, and then after that, the buzz is gonna die. Like if you have Boston, New York in the first round, yeah, that's great. But now you're gonna have what? Boston, Cleveland. I'm just saying hypothetically, like let's just use that, or Boston and Detroit in the second round. No, like it's gonna die down. Like I want the momentum to be picked up at the end, so then if I'm going into the finals, I'm excited because I just watched one hell of a series with the Lakers and the Warriors. But dang, man, Lakers and Warriors first round is most likely gonna happen. I hope it doesn't. I would want that at least to be a second round matchup.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot could happen. Literally, look where these teams are. I mean, you could do an absolute 360 flip in the next week and a half. I mean, look, and this is a really good segue here into the final thing. Before we segue, real quick. So Dovensky, you said your dark horse in this would be who again?
If it's not the Lakers, I would say Denver.
Okay. All right. And Jack, how about you? Who would your dark horse kind of be out of this group?
The thing about the West, it's a lot different than the East. Like there's so many teams that could sneak into the conference finals. So I'm gonna say the Clippers. Healthy Kawhi. Let me see it.
That's interesting.
Healthy Kawhi, James Harden and company. That's a sneaky team, man. Norman Powell's healthy, right? Like he's still going.
Norman Powell's healthy. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, yeah. Hey.
Will we finally get the Battle of LA?
Hey. Don't rule it out. It could happen. Possible. It could happen.
Unfortunately, Paul George is gone.
Hey, JC. Bro. You know Embiid's on your team, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like Embiid does it all the time. Embiid
shoots just as much free throws as Shai Gilgeous might do in a game.
Embiid interests people.
Actually,
come on. He drags people down. Come on, bro.
Joel Embiid has like the 7th highest free throws per game season of all time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's just a flopper.
Yeah.
And people call Shai a foul baiter. I don't think people remember 2019 James Harden.
See, okay. JC, we know you do, but when you say stuff like this,
it's look.
You gotta know your audience, bro.
Let's say LeBron does cry for some free throws. He deserves it. It's LeBron. He's 40 years old. I mean, come on, bro. He at this point in his career, he deserves a few whistles on his name. He deserves some.
Not even glazing. It is actually absurd. Like LeBron does not get a lot of calls considering how much he got.
Y'all call him a flopper, but y'all forgot what James Harden was doing in like 2017. Y'all forgetting 2020, not even 2020, no, 2019. Like that era of like 2016 to like 2019. James, y'all forgetting that? Come on, bro. No. I'm gonna look up.
This is rage baiting 101, JC. What the fuck?
I'm gonna look up James Harden's free throw attempts. I'm sick and tired of this. People calling shit
This
foul.
happens every show. This happens every show where you
bro.
get Dovensky riled up about Braun. Jack's keeping his cool about it. Dovensky's getting riled up.
James Harden has like 8 different seasons of him averaging double-digit free throw attempts. Bro, what? Bro. LeBron cries for fouls. Man, let's see.
JC, we're never going to end this episode.
LeBron only has 3 seasons of averaging double-digit free throw attempts. And that was during his athletic peak. Bro. LeBron had the most free throw attempts LeBron has is 10.3. James Harden has 2 different seasons of averaging 11 free throw attempts. Foul baiter.
I'm competitive, you know.
I love your passion about LeBron week in and week out, man.
If we happen to get LeBron James on this show, I will cry.
I don't think you would be able to conduct the interview. You would be sobbing or you would faint. The second he would join in, you would faint.
Joel Embiid has 3 seasons of averaging 11 free throw attempts. God damn. Yo.
I mean, you just said LeBron has 3 seasons of double digit. If that's Embiid.
LeBron has 3 different seasons of only 10. Joel Embiid alone has 3 of 10. No, he has 5 double-digit seasons. 3 out of those 5 is 11. LeBron's 3 double-digit seasons is only 10. It's only 10. James Harden has 2 11 free throw attempts per game seasons.
Hey,
GC, man. All right. Well, let's get back on track here. We're getting here to the end of the show. So JC. Oh man. All right. So one more time. Western Conference up for grabs, it seems like 3 through 7 as of right now. Eastern Conference, Cleveland and Boston's to lose, but some good teams sitting around at 3 and 4. We'll see what 5 and 6 can do. Down the stretch here, Orlando and Atlanta not out of the main playoff window yet, but it's closing quickly as they are about 4 to 5 games or 6 games out from that final full play-in spot. So to close out our portion where we're previewing the playoffs, let's throw up my favorite clip, non-basketball play clip, just because we're talking about the Eastern Conference.
I hope these New York fans find their way to the exit real quick. Boo, take y'all ass home.
That might, hands down, that's one of my favorite non-basketball play clips I've ever watched. I've ever watched.
Is that
New
against
York
the Knicks?
That is easily.
Yo, that man is public. Listen, bro.
Public enemy number 1.
I need that first round series. Atlanta, New York. I gotta see that.
I was trying to think. I don't think that's possible. I mean, the Knicks would have to jump to.
Yeah, the Knicks are the 3rd seed in Atlanta. Yeah. Damn.
If the Knicks jump to 2, they could do it.
They will have to jump to 2.
Actually, no, I don't think they can anymore.
Nah, that's not
No,
possible.
I think Boston won the division because they're in the same division, aren't they? Boston and yeah.
So let me see.
Okay.
New York.
Well,
Atlanta will have to be 6, and they're about
a lot would have to happen in the last 2 weeks that can't actually happen.
Atlanta would have to win every game, and Detroit would have to lose every game for them to get to 6.
Yeah.
Dang.
A lot would have to happen.
Dang.
All right. Let's close out the show, gentlemen. We got about 5 minutes left, and I want to talk about some matchups for tonight just because we're already looking at this Western Conference. Tune in. The first thing I hear is Boston.
Boston
I
not
told
winning,
you.
bro.
I told you.
Not winning.
Hey, I knew he was waiting in the shadows. He was
Boston's
waiting
not
for his
winning.
moment. I knew he was. I knew he was there. I could feel his
Boston's not
presence.
winning. Cleveland's gonna whoop Boston.
Oh, man. All right. There's two matchups tonight that I wanted to focus on with you guys, both in the Western Conference. So Thunder Rockets on in about 5 minutes. That's a big time game. Thunder Rockets. And then Nuggets and Warriors are on in the late window tonight. I believe they're out in Golden State. Yes. So California time, which is why it's so late for the start there. But Thunder Rockets, Nuggets, Warriors. Jack, out of these two games, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Couldn't care less about watching the Thunder beat Houston by 30. So I'm gonna have to go with Denver Golden State because
Yeah,
also
that's the obvious one.
the game has huge implications for playoff standings. Let's not forget it's a 4-5 matchup with the Lakers and Warriors right now. If the Warriors jump the Lakers to get home court, that's huge. Getting home court advantage in their playoff series. If they have to play in LA, 4 out of 7 games, that's a lot tougher. So that's a big game for Golden State and also a big game for Denver. They do not want to fall out of that 3 seed.
No, they do not. Absolutely. Dovensky, how about you?
It's definitely Lakers. I said Lakers. It's definitely Golden State and Denver because dang, even just thinking about it, you could get Jokic getting another triple double. Curry could probably drop 35. Dang, that just not even thinking about the standings. That's just gonna be a really really good game. And if Golden State wins, they can definitely jump up. And if Denver loses, they can go down because it's just this is what game and a half, 2 games behind, 2.5 games behind. It's just so close that just a week of basketball can change the Western Conference. So like next week, we could be looking at the Lakers as the 3rd seed, or we could be looking at the Lakers as like the 7th seed, just trying to stay out of the play-in. So if Golden State wins, that's definitely going to be beneficial for them. So even if they were to face the Lakers, they're still in California. There's still a bunch of Golden State fans in LA. So they would still be at somewhat of an advantage even if the Lakers were to get home court advantage. But if they were to go higher and they were to face, let's just say Denver, they were to face Denver in the playoffs and they get home court advantage, that's even better for them because now they have the Warriors fans and they're going to have the momentum. And when they go out to Denver's not really going to have that much momentum on them anymore because I could low-key see Golden State going up 2-0 before they go on the road. So this game, I say it's more important for Denver than it is for Golden State because Golden State would rather have home court advantage against Denver than having home court advantage against like the Lakers or the Clippers or whatever because you're in California and all those fans are all over the place.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat here. I think that Golden State Denver game is a huge playoff implication. Tyler, I will get to your comment. I will close the show on your comment here in a second. But huge playoff implications. Last time those two teams faced off was a game where there was no Jamal Murray and no Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets went on the road and won 114-105 in Golden State. That was the Westbrook triple-double game, 16 assists. That was the Aaron Gordon. I believe that was a career high in 38 points that night. So that was the last time those teams faced off. And again, it was out in Golden State. So big-time matchup in that one tonight. Could easily see a playoff flip by the end of tonight if things go accordingly for either team. So one last thing, our fearless leader has posed one final question for us. We'll go a little bit over on time here, but over under, how many games do the Celtics lose in the playoffs? Tyler is proposing 4.5 as the starting point. So, Jack, I'll kick to you. Over or under 4.5 losses in the playoffs for the season?
Over. Over.
I think they sweep the first rounds. They sweep whoever gets the 7th seed, and then they lose 1 or 2 to New York, and then lose 4 to Cleveland, or lose 4 in the finals because they're going to lose the series. So I'll say they lose 6 games.
Okay. So over for Jack. Dovensky, you were already hinting over. What do you think? What number are you thinking?
Let's see. So let's say Miami hypothetically gets the 7th seed. I don't want to see Boston beat Miami again, but that's already one loss for them. Going into the second round, they could probably get to 7 games depending who they face in the second round. If they face somebody like Detroit, then that's going to be a 5-game series. So that's 2 losses for them already. Then if they face Cleveland, that's 4 losses right there. So in the best case scenario, they lose 6 games. Worst case scenario, they lose I would say maybe 8 games or around 7-8 games.
Okay. All right. Well, JC has the under. Of course, Tyler has the under. I'll take the over, but I'm only going to go Tyler laughable. I'm going to take the over, but I'm only going to like 6.5. Or I'll say 6. I think 4.5. I mean, if you kind of combine, I think they could sweep first round. Like Jack said, I agree. I think they could sweep. That's an easy kind of move on series. Get into second round, just kind of depending how it pans out. I could see them dropping a game if it's New York in the second round. I could see them dropping a game or 2 in New York.
2 games.
And then if it comes down to a Boston Cleveland conference finals, if it kind of pans out that way, which can it mathematically be the 1 and 2 seed?
What's that?
If
1 and
can
2,
Boston
and
Cleveland be in the
one is
finals,
the
right? The conference finals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so hypothetically, if it gets to there, I could see that. Then you're talking about 2 to 3 losses there, if it happens that way. So I'll go overall, but I'll stick around 6, just because I don't want to discredit.
Hey, JC, this is some incredible glaze, bro. What do you?
This is crazy.
Only 2 games. I don't even think Tyler would say that.
So, bro.
I mean, Tyler would say that's sweet.
That's crazy.
2 games. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
Tyler,
Boston has.
Are you forgetting? Let's say hypothetically Boston makes it to the finals. Once again, are you forgetting that Boston has to face Golden State, possibly Golden State? They have to face the Lakers or OKC, Denver. Boston's not beating. They could beat. No, they're not beating Golden State. They could beat Denver possibly. They possibly Denver. I don't really see it, but it's possible.
I don't know, man.
Lakers,
I don't see them losing only 2 games.
2 games.
They're good. Boston's good. They really are. I would say if you're talking about like, no. That's not what he's asking. No. If you're talking about like team, like defending champions going into a playoff series, this is probably one of the better defending champions we've seen. I mean, you go back a few years, you go to Denver the year after they won their championship. They were scraping for wins for a while. That there was no dominance. Boston has continued that dominance, I would say. Even you look at like Oklahoma City, they had their playoff run last year, and they had their big win amount last year too. And everyone's like, can they do it again? They've done it again. So similar situation, big win team that won the championship, trying to repeat. It's tough to repeat. It really is. It's very difficult to repeat in the NBA. But Tyler, we're not brushing them off. I'm just saying, like, I don't see your team.
I'm brushing them off.
I don't see your team losing 4 or under games. That's not what we're doing. They're not losing 4 or less games in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Tyler
there's
or
too good of
JC.
teams left in the like.
OKC is the only team that I could see actually sweeping Boston in the finals.
You think
Only
that's
team.
listen. Tyler or JC, I will bid you $100 that they'll lose more than 4.5 playoff games, right? Either of you, if you want to.
$100. Wow.
In saying that, I like they definitely could win the championship. Let's not even if they do, I think they still lose at least 5 games. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
OKC.
It's a lot better teams they have to play this year. The OKC wasn't the team they were last year. If they make the finals, hypothetically, Cleveland there was no
has the
Cleveland,
potential to win 70 games.
you know,
Last
and
time
there
we
was
saw
no
70
Cleveland in
win
your
team.
conference last year. There was no the Knicks are better. Like you don't sweep the Eastern Conference this year, respectfully.
Yeah, East.
Hey,
East is a bit more competitive this year.
70 wins can mean next to nothing. Look what the Warriors did. They blew a 3-1 lead in the finals, man.
Look at what they faced. And then they had to go call Kevin Durant to go beat LeBron. All of that just to be one player. Why?
Back to LeBron. There's all roads lead back to LeBron for Dovensky. All roads. Well,
to be one player is crazy.
Yeah, all roads lead back to LeBron for Dovensky.
Yep.
What a way to close out the show. Good conversations tonight. Good topics. NBA playoffs are approaching.
That is great. That's a hot take.
Hot take.
Look at this guy.
Keep that.
I'm making out of this.
Bag it up, jar it up, and hold on to that, Tyler.
Keep that. Press the guarantee.
Woo!
Man,
oh man, that is a hot take. All right.
Hey, we can bet on that too. I'm so serious about that bet too.
Oh man. All right.
Like that one.
Oh wow. What a way to drop. What a bomb to drop at the end of the show. So Final Four tomorrow night. 2 games. Both matchups are tomorrow night, and then NBA playoffs are starting to really take their form as to who's going to be in, except for in the Western Conference. We have no idea. Fiery comments as I'm trying to close this out. We're already 7 minutes over what we're supposed to be. But this is great.
OKC has playoff success. They made it to the finals before.
We can continue this conversation next week. I mean, this is going to be a good conversation. I'd say we could go even deeper into our playoff predictions next week. It's going to be, it could be completely different. So, all right. Go follow these 2 gentlemen on their social medias. Go check out stadiumrant.com, all of our other shows. Dirty Leather is premiering Sunday night, right before Sunday Night Baseball. So make sure to go check that new show out as it premieres. Check out Fifth Down Territory on Tuesday nights for all of your NFL coverage. We've been doing some mock drafts. Pucks Deep on Wednesday nights. Gritty Gamblers all week. Ringside Rant Boys twice a week now. A lot of stuff to watch and tune into, and all of the written stuff that drops on the daily. So many good things happening here at Stadium Rant. Stadium Rant to the moon. This is a fun show to be a part of, and it's only going to get better as the playoffs approach. So thank you again for joining and watching tonight. We went at 8 minutes over, but it doesn't matter because it's great conversations and good topics. So we'll see you next week. We'll continue with our playoff previews and our playoff predictions because, man, oh, man, this right here has me excited for next show.
Hey,
Thank
Tyler,
you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.